Hey everybody, good morning to ITHive.org's live tech show for September 29th. This is episode 52. And a couple of things I wanted to talk about today. And, it's something I see a lot of when you go out and get tech support. The unfortunate reality to this situation is that the general public really doesn't know a lot about what goes on inside their computer. It's a box. For a lot of people, it's very similar to, their knowledge about their car. And you have to trust the people when you go out and get help. And, I'm talking about the individual giving you the work because, or providing you the service. It goes so far beyond brand. I've seen big box stores have people rip customers off and take advantage of the fact that they don't have the knowledge that they should have. And I find this, for me, a very frustrating scenario because everything that we're trying to do is to empower our customers or empower people that want to be customers, and give them the knowledge, right? I have personally for my whole career and to this day, always taken the time to explain to a customer what was broken, what needs to be fixed, and what their options are, and let them decide, right? But, unfortunately, what happens out there, a lot of techs don't take the time, right? And they also understand that, they can overwhelm the customer with all kinds of rhetoric or whatever, and then as a result end up selling them things that they don't need, and I can think of a particular example that happened this week, and it really, really bothers me. I had somebody went to Staples, and sorry, Staples, I'm gonna dump on you because I know that you failed here. And they took their computer in there. They were told that they needed a new hard drive, which they didn't. I know this for a fact. And likely all they needed was, reinstall operating system, right? So at the end of the day, I'm only guessing, but, they pay for a new hard drive, maybe $200, the service. I'm sure they paid, over $600. Likely, they only needed to spend maybe about $200 or so. And, it's horrible, right? Anyway, there's a lot more to that story, but, those are the facts, right? It's, the fact that someone who is trusted by someone to provide a service is so misleading just to make sales, right? And it happens. It happens more than you think. It happens to people without them even knowing it happens because they don't know. They don't know, right? And, so anyway, I go on and on about this. Of course, a lot of that is why we're doing what we're doing. And we're trying to, get there. There's some challenges that we're having, right? Because, on an education front, getting people to understand why they should engage with us and what we're doing to help, and one of the biggest problems that we see here is and I've said this before, and this might sound like a funny line, but I will explain. But if you have a good tech supporting you, or if you have a good company supporting your tech, whether it's business or residential or so, you should have no problems, okay? Or very little problems. And I'm happy to say this is what happens with our customers, right? Very little problems, very little emergencies, because we're dealing with things when they're small, taking care of them, providing education, and all that stuff. But it's still a service, so it still needs to cost something, right? But the thing is that you're getting the information, you're getting knowledge, you're getting empowerment to understand. And if we're telling you you need your hard drive replaced, right, we'll show you why, right? We'll actually show you the logs or the alerts or whatever and say, look, the system's telling you your hard drive's going to fail. We need to do something, right? And I know for a fact that in this case, Staples, you didn't do that because you didn't have that information, right? So why you told this person they needed a new hard drive could only be to increase your sales, right? So, I think that, and I'm sure, maybe not Staples in general, but you had an employee that did this. So, who's watching the shop, right? Where's the quality control, right? And I've seen this happen before. Before in the past, we've had this issue with London Drugs, same type scenario. Customers sold all kinds of things they didn't need, right? And it really, I get very emotional about this because the tech people that are doing these kinds of things, they're hurting our industry, right? They're hurting the efforts I'm trying to do. They're hurting the efforts that other honest techs are trying to do, right? And they're ruining our reputation, right? And, if you can't be an honest tech, please get out of the industry, right? Stop ripping customers off, right? And, I can go on and on about this. But, okay, so here's a good news story for another customer, and I talked about this gentleman a while ago. So he was on an effort a few weeks back to, he had a problem with his Canon printer, and I always encourage customers, if you can figure it out, that's good. You good. I got your back if something goes wrong. Anyway, he was doing some searching, and he somehow he got from the Canon website to, and got in contact with people that were clearly criminals, right? And luckily in this case, not almost too late, but he thought they were going to fix his printer issue, and they turned out charging him and doing all kinds of things that they shouldn't have been doing. Clearly a scam. And realizing his mistake, and in horror, he contacted me immediately, and we were able to resolve the issue. And I'm happy to say that now I encouraged him to fight back and to get his money back from his credit card company, which he did, right? And MasterCard stepped up and said, yes, we get that. We see this is a scam. And they gave him his money back, and that's great. And, the balls of the company or the individual that was ripping him off actually called him after this charge was reversed and threatened him with legal action, right? Well, I told him that, don't worry, we got your back. There's nothing they can do there. They provided you services under false pretenses. That is very clear. They told you things that were false, and they had no business trying to rip you off just because of your lack of knowledge about technology. I don't know. It'll continue. It'll continue until people become more smart, and I'm sure that this kind of thing happened with cars when they first came out. You know, people misleading folks because they didn't have a full understanding of cars, and people making money because of that, right? Well, this is no different. It's happening, and the only way really is, you know, you have to be able to trust your tech, right? And that's one of the reasons why we don't do one-offs, right? Because if you have a problem, you call me, I come in and I fix the problem and leave, and then we don't have a relationship, right? Well, how can you trust me, right? How can you trust me as an individual to be honest with you and to tell you what you need to know, right? The same thing if you go to a box store, right, to get your computer fixed, or, you know, you go in, you're not talking to the same person all the time. You don't know what their knowledge is. The only thing you're left with, whoa, you know, it's a big brand, I must be able to trust them. But where's the checks and balances, right? What's that brand doing to make sure that that tech that you're talking to is going to be honest and not just want to sell you all kinds of things or make you go away because, you know, it's too much effort to explain the problem you have and why or what options you have, right? Sorry, folks. I really do apologize. This is our industry, and this is the way it is today, right? And hopefully, as I empower my customers, hopefully ITHive.org can be more empowered to change this narrative and to change this scenario, right? You know, it no end, right? So, anyway, that is that, right? So here we are at the end of September, right? And winter's starting to set in. You know, yeah. Anyway, hopefully it gets better, right? So anyway, kind of a good news, bad news story this week, you know, and just a message to all of you out there, you know, trust your tech, right? Have a relationship with a tech. You know, I'm sorry, but I know you think that having a computer on the internet shouldn't cost you any money, but it does. And the smart people around us will seek out good sources of information and be empowered and be knowledgeable about what that box is doing and the risks that you might be facing, right? And this is what we do. All right? So, anyway, that's our 15 minutes for today. Nice chatting with you all. Again, like always, if you have comments or stories to share, whatever, post them here, right? I'll share them. If you want to hear about a certain subject or anything like that, again, leave me a comment. We'll address that issue too. Whatever it is, right? It can be just, you know, social things around computers or just tech stuff, right? Can deal with it all. All right. So anyway, have a good time. Enjoy your rest of the week. And like always, we'll see you next Saturday for episode 54. Almost a year of these now at 10 o'clock Saturday morning, 10 Eastern Saturday morning. And we'll see you all next week. Okay. Have a good week and safe computing. Bye.